Ongoing investigations now underway into the mass jailbreak from the Orleans Justice Center, and 2 of the 10 escaped inmates that are still at large. City Council President J.P. Morrell has now stirred up fresh new controversy with an Instagram post.
He did. And investigative reporter Mike Pearlstein's been following that case, and he's joining us in the studio to explain more about this. This dropped just a little while ago, right?
Yeah, it's fresh off of social media, and I can tell you that we know that J.P. Morrell is a frequent poster on Instagram, but this one about the sheriff's office is getting a lot of attention and some official reactions. In his post, Morrell says he talked to former employees who are now whistleblowers, and he dangles a set of jail keys that he says were given to him by one of them. Morrell says that the keys go to the jail cell doors, those same doors that were breached during the escape.
One of the whistleblowers we met with as a former employee said that when they left, there was one key thing the sheriff's office doesn't collect. These are the keys to the jail. These are actual keys to the actual jail. Doesn't really matter if the locks are broken when you fire people and don't take back the keys. It is beyond disconcerting to me when you look at recent stories of the fact that one of the escapees was dating a former employee of the sheriff's office, in light of the fact that the sheriff does not confiscate keys from former employees that maybe you don't need to have.
Now, in a statement posted as a response to Morrell's Instagram video, the sheriff's office wrote, quote, "We are in possession of all the keys to the jail. The ones you're showing off don't open the jail or any cell. I would be careful putting out misinformation to the public." Now, additionally, Attorney General Liz Muriel also weighed in, stating that, quote, "Obviously, they should know where the keys to the jail are." She went on to state that the Louisiana Bureau of Investigation will take possession of those keys and that they will become part of the state investigation into the jail and the escape.
And look, you already know on this channel, we hold racist Caucasian people accountable, because if we don't, who will? And before we start this video, if you don't like black people, black issues, black talks, get to stepping. Yes, Orleans Parish Prison in New Orleans did house enslaved people, particularly those accused of crimes or considered recalcitrant by their owners. The prison also housed individuals accused of self-emancipation or attempting to free themselves from slavery. In 1895, the Times-Picayune described Orleans Parish Prison as the place where refractory slaves were sent to receive a dose of cat o' nine tails or to be confined in the dungeons. In extreme cases, the rebellious blacks were kept in dark cells on a diet of bread and water. Make that make sense. And I love bringing up the history because a lot of times history shows you what's going on today. And they lied to us. They told us those inmates escaped through a wall, a hole in the wall. The whole time, a lot of ex-employees have the keys. And Antoine Massey tried to tell us. He said, "I was let out." He was telling the truth. They was lying. And I'm not surprised, because those city officials, those so-called people in position of power, they don't care about anything. They not fixing no jails. They not fixing no prisons. They not fixing no buildings. They not fixing no roads. They not fixing anything. They don't care about anything. The only thing they care about is Mardi Gras, football, and party events. Tell me I'm lying. And I called it. I called it on New Year's Day when their attack happened on Bourbon Street. After their attack happened, they still had a football game like nothing ever happened. They act like it wasn't people that died on Bourbon Street on New Year's Day. And I said, their karma is going to be real. And look at them now. Look at all the city officials. Look at all the so-called people in position of power. Look what they're going through every day. They're looking like fools every day, every single day in the media. And now they want to arrest Derrick Grove's so-called girlfriend. And then they want to post this mug shot of her, just to embarrass her. And her bond is $2.5 million. Run a tape.
A $2.5 million bond was set for the latest woman to be arrested in connection to the major escape at the Orleans Justice Center. Speaking of updates, Dariana Burton on your screen was arrested yesterday. She's accused of helping Derrick Groves, one of the inmates still on the run. Investigators say Dariana Burton is a former OPSO employee and the girlfriend of Groves. She's now facing a felony charge of conspiracy to commit simple escape. The sheriff's office says Burton was fired back in 2023 for allegedly bringing contraband into the jail, but the DA's office declined declined to prosecute her. Instead, DA Jason Williams says she was offered a pretrial diversion program based on the evidence and her lack of criminal history. And he did release a statement saying, quote, the contraband in question was not actually introduced into the secure area of the facility. According to the incident report, Ms. Burton left the contraband inside a bag at the facility entrance and did not follow through with delivery. Derek Groves and Antoine Massey on your screen right now. They are still on the run. This is nearly 4 weeks into the manhunt. There's a $50,000 reward for information that leads to their arrest.
Make that make sense. And I know I'm always telling y'all, sometimes you have to sit back, shut up, and use your common sense, because it's true, especially when you're dealing with this media, because this media is crooked. I told y'all, at the end of the day, they all on the same team. So why is the media bringing up her old charges? You know, she served her time. She did her community service. She did whatever she had to do to get over that. Why are they bringing up old stuff? But when it comes, I had to think about it. When it comes to those 5 Louisiana troopers that murdered Ronald Green in cold goddamn blood, they can't bring that up, right? They can't bring nothing up. They had the audio, they had the video, they had all the evidence. You even had cops helping those 5 Louisiana troopers hide evidence. You had the whole department helping those 5 troopers get off with the whole case. They helped them and no one got charged for anything. And I say, you know what? How much was they bond? Check this shit out. Former trooper Corey York was paid a $1,000 fine as part of a plea deal. $1,000, that's crazy. Corey York pleaded no contest to 8 counts of simple battery, received a 6-month suspended sentence, 160 hours of community service, and 1 year of supervised probation. Chris Harpin, the last remaining defendant in the case, pleaded no contest to a simple battery charge. While the penalty for simple battery can include a fine up to $1,000, it's not stated in the provided text that Harpin paid a fine at all. That's crazy. The U.S. Justice Department closed its investigation without bringing federal criminal charges against the surviving officers. Make that make sense. And we have to stop letting these fake ass RoboCops get away with murdering our people and moving on with life like nothing ever happened. They get to spend time with their family, celebrate holidays with their family, watch the playoffs with their family. Meanwhile, Ronald Green's family is still going through it. They better than me, because if I can't sleep, you can't sleep either. Tell me I'm lying. And we can't forget about this coward, Jacob Nass of Baton Rouge. He ran over Bree Collins, and he kept going because he was drunk and he was speeding, and he turned himself in 4 days later. And guess how much his bond was? Check this shit out. Based on the information available, Jacob Nass' bond was set at $330. Several sources indicated that Jacob Nass bonded out of jail for this amount hours after being arrested for a fatal hit and run in Baton Rouge in March 2023. Make that make sense. That's why I'm always telling y'all, don't let the media fool you, because everything that's going on in New Orleans right now is just the corruption is finally being exposed nationwide. I used to always say people don't really care what goes on in New Orleans if it's not football, partying, dancing, and stuff like that. But now it's on national news, and it's been on national news since January the 1st. You got to think about it. These people made over $1 billion already. We only in June, but they love to cry broke. You made over $1 billion. You tell them you can't fix the roads? You can't pay people livable wages so people don't have to work 6 days a week? The cost of living is low. Why do people have to work 6-7 days a week, 12-hour shifts? 12-hour shifts just to survive, just to pay bills. It don't make sense. So you think I give a damn if Derek is still on the run? Hell no. I hope they never catch Derek, because this whole year, all they cared about was the Super Bowl, Mardi Gras, and these events. That's it. They never saw this shit coming, and I love it. So to Derek, keep running, especially after what they did to your grandmother. You deserve your freedom. I'm out.
Man, New Orleans got some goddamn nerve. After damn near 2 decades, y'all decided to give the Groves family $1.5 million for the wrongful death of Kim Groves by the New Orleans Police Department, Lynn Davis. Y'all so goddamn corrupted down there, it's a damn shame. And y'all say the $1.5 million will be paid in 4 installments. Really? Come on, man. We even. Y'all leave fucking Derrick Groves alone. Y'all leave the Groves family alone. Because it's a goddamn shame the way y'all treat people down there. Everybody down there. City officials, everybody is corrupted. And I stand on that, you heard me? Yeah.